So I just recently learned that by global estimates, there are 50,000 different types of groups that consider themselves to be of the Christian faith. 50,000. So there are 50,000 different variations of theology and rituals and practices and belief systems and history and reason for existing and mission statement and all that stuff, and they consider themselves Christians. I was raised as a Christian. I would say a Protestant in the most basic sense, an evangelical in a more specific sense, and a charismatic in the most detailed sense. I don't know if there's a group that's called that. I just know that I probably am representative of one of those 50,000 groups, or at least that's how I was raised. But I have been going through a lot of deconstructing over the last couple years, and I've gone through my, agnostic, maybe atheist, pseudo-spiritual phases, and I don't know what I believe anymore. But when I was in college, I had a professor of a class called World Religions. It was a very basic, freshman or sophomore level class about world religion. And he was a former Jesuit priest, and he told me once in a sidebar conversation we were having, it was an online class, we were chatting, and he said his personal belief was he was like a Christian Universalist, and I had never heard that before, but his thought, which he expressed to me, was that Jesus is the door through which all people are saved, and everyone will be saved. There is no one God will abandon in hell for eternity. That's just simply not his plan. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this blasphemer. I remember thinking, this is heretical teaching, because that's what I was taught. I was taught that is heresy to say something like that. And so I'm like, now that I am in this place of maybe not even believing of God, that God exists, let alone Jesus being a Messiah to the world, there's nothing keeping me from exploring that theology and seeing what it's really about, right? Because I was definitely sheltered from it. No, you cannot believe this. So I've been listening to this podcast, which I will put a little sticker of what it's called. I still don't know what I believe. I'm 20 episodes in, but it is different, and it's very interesting and compelling if you are a person who wants to believe that Jesus is important to humanity. So